What's going on, everybody? I'm Terrence, and this is Bank Shipping. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everybody's having a good morning so far. If you ain't up, go ahead and get up, start that grind. So yesterday, I took that load that if you want to call it a load, that one pallet, I took that down to Petersburg yesterday, dropped it off, then ran over to Virginia Beach and picked up some exhaust pipe to bring back up here to Manassas. Basically, I'm at that same Amazon warehouse that I was at, I think that was last week, when I bought that plenum here. This is basically the exhaust pipe for those. So got down to Virginia Beach yesterday, and it was supposed to be 6 of them, but when I got there, the guys told me that they could probably only fit 4. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I got a 53-foot trailer. Like, why can you only fit 4? Because they told me it was only going to take up 40 feet of deck space. That's why they said a step deck, a 53-foot step deck was okay, because I got a 43-foot bottom deck. So I got there, and the guy says, I don't think all 6 are going to fit. So we got to looking at them and everything. We measured them. Their measurements were wrong, I guess, that they initially told, you know, the broker. I guess they were supposed to be like 19, 20 feet long a piece, but they were actually almost 23 feet long a piece. So they had 2 of them stacked, you know, one stacked on top of each other, so 2, and they fit side by side. So what the plan was, I guess, when they thought that it was only 40 feet, they were going to stack 2 on top of each other, you know, put those side by side, and then 1 behind those, and then you get 40 feet. Well, now that they're not, you know, since they weren't 20 feet, I think what happened is they just measured the skids and not the actual pieces, because the pieces stick over on the skids. So now it ends up being, you know, 45, 46 feet as opposed to 40 feet. Well, that's too long for my bottom deck. And with a 53-foot trailer, without a permit, you can't have any overhang. So I couldn't have any overhang. And then the way the skids were built, they weren't comfortable with putting them on my top deck and then building, you know, a load leveler so that it would hang off to the bottom deck, just because the way the skids were built, you know, they didn't trust that the skids wouldn't break apart with nothing underneath them, which is understandable. A lot of times when you have longer skidded material, they don't want to use step decks just for that reason. If it's a solid piece, like a piece of pipe or something like that, they don't have a problem with it. But when you start getting the skids and everything like that, a lot of times they'll tend to break because of the weight and nothing underneath of it. So they didn't want to do that. And then, so I suggested, well, what if we stack 3 high? So we measured it, and they didn't want to stack 3 high because of they weren't able to band all 3 together. Because see, they got 2 of them, but they're banded together. They're banded, you know, one skid is banded with the exhaust pipe, and then they stack the other one on, that's banded, and then they band both the skids together. They didn't want to put a 3rd skid on top of that because they wouldn't be able to band it as good, and then they didn't really trust the skids to ride that well, you know, not break apart and stuff like that. So if they don't trust it, I'm not going to trust it. And then also it was going to be kind of close on height. I got a rough measurement. I didn't get an exact measurement, but it would have been kind of close on height. So they were like, just take 4. So, you know, they loaded me up with 4. I called the broker, let him know what was going on. And he was like, okay, I guess we'll just have to figure out something with the other 2. You know, I told him that I tried every which way possible to get all 6. It's just no way for me to do so. So I got 4. So let's sit here. It's kind of cold out this morning. Not kind of cold. It is cold. So here's what I got. Real easy. They told me 6 of them was going to be 20,000 pounds. but 2 of them is only like 3,600 pounds. So I don't really understand that math. So it's like 8,000 pounds. But so you see, you know, this is all they have on top. It's just a 2x4, you know, so you get that weight setting down on that, and then you add more weight on top of that setting down on this. It's not going to be very sturdy. You don't want the skids breaking and everything, and so that's why I was only able to take 4. So here's what it looks like from the back. You know, nice easy load. It rode good. I can't complain at all. I put 4 straps across the top pieces, and I went to the actual exhaust pipe, not the crates, because I don't trust the crates. And also the way that it's banded, the crate itself is banded, not the pipe. So I wasn't going to strap the crate because you really don't have anything really securing the pipe other than the pieces of wood that are laying on top of it that, you know, they screwed down to build the crate. So I put 4 straps across the top, and then I put 2 belly straps across the bottom, just for my sense of security. You know, y'all know I preach over securement all the time. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 back here on the bottom, 1 up here on the bottom. And it rode great. So we're here at the drop off. I called the guy when I got here, or when I was on my way here. Nobody answered. I left a voicemail, and then I found another number. I called him. He answered the phone, told me that they're going to get to me as soon as possible. So we're just gonna wait in the truck. So until then, I'll see y'all. Yes sir, yes sir. Would you look at here? It is still daylight. I don't know the last time I got home this early. It's about 3 o'clock. I can't tell you the last time I was home at 3 o'clock or before the sun went down. That's not saying much because it's getting dark early, but still, you know, 6, 7 o'clock. I can't remember last time I got home this early. Early enough to get home when the kids is getting off the bus and all that stuff. So I'm excited. Got a nice little day, you know. Got time to do some things at home instead of going home, kissing the kids goodnight, eating some dinner, taking a shower and going to bed. I can get some other things done. But yeah, I got that load dropped off from Manassas this morning. Ran back up here to Winchester to pick up my load for tomorrow, which is just some decking. It's only like 8 bundles, I think. Yeah, 8 bundles, 4 high on each side. It's like 16 feet of total deck space, and weighs about 15.5. Had the tarp, so you know, got it wrapped up like a Christmas present. It's that time of the year. So this goes down to Monetta, Virginia in the morning. It's down there by Smith Mountain Lake, that whole area. Dropping off at a lumber yard up there in the morning. Thought I was going to have a load to pick up down that way to bring back up here, but that fell through. So right now I have nothing, which absolutely stinks because there's not much down there in the first place. So when you find a load down there, you know, I got super excited because I'm like, yes, got me a load. Like, I jumped on it. As soon as I seen it, I jumped on it, negotiated rate, boom, good to go. And then the load canceled. Why it canceled, I have no idea. Don't really care. It's out of my mind. But it just stinks that there's really not a lot of freight in that area. It's kind of like a dead area in Virginia. It's always hard getting out of that area. That's why I really don't go down, you know, that whole Roanoke and Lynchburg area down there, down south, Southern Virginia. I don't go down there too much just because it's a pain trying to get back up here. Now, if it was, you know, earlier in the week, it probably wouldn't have been a problem because they got loads going to North Carolina and stuff like that. You know, wouldn't have mind doing it, staying out or whatever. But since it's on a Friday, I need something coming back up here. So if not, I'll just dead head back. This pays good enough that I can do that. I'd rather not, but if I have to, it is what it is. So I ain't gonna waste no more time. I'm gonna go spend some time that I have that I never get. So we're gonna drop this in the morning. Maybe if I have time, I'll get this filthy thing washed because it's terrible. Just got word that my fenders finally came in 2 months later. So I'm happy about that. It's the same fenders that I already had, the quarter fenders. I didn't change them. I just, of course, got new ones, a whole set. That way now I have one spare, but hopefully I don't need that spare. Hopefully it don't come off anymore after I double nut it, rid Loctite, and weld it. Shouldn't come off. So hopefully I can get those picked up. Don't really know what the weekend's looking like, if I can get those on or not. Hopefully it'd be nice if I can get them on soon, just because I'm tired of looking ugly with one fender. And then another tidbit, this thing right here, this trailer, this beautiful trailer, I actually tossed around the idea this morning on social media about selling this thing. You know, just because I talk about, you know, last video I talk about the future of the company, turning my truck back into a tandem, and when I do that, I don't want this thing setting, going to waste, and then I probably won't be using it anyway once I go to a tandem. So just tossing around the idea. If somebody buys it, cool. You know, if not, then I'll just keep it and use it. You know, neither here nor there. You know, it doesn't really, I don't have to sell it, but if somebody wants it and is going to do good out of it, instead of it just sitting here, I'm all for it. So I'll see y'all in the morning. Good morning. Got up this morning, made it down here to my drop off in Monetta, Virginia, about a 3.5 hour ride or so. So I'm gonna go ahead, put my coat on, put my beanie on, because it's cold. Y'all know I don't like that cold. I don't do that cold stuff. So get bundled up, get out, untarp, unstrap, get unloaded, you know, the whole nine. So I'll see y'all in a minute. It's Friday. Thank goodness. Time for the weekend. Can't wait. Came back up the road. I was gonna just head back to the house, have an early day, early 3-day weekend, all that. Then I got a call about a load a little bit of ways, like 30 miles from the house. So I said, doesn't deliver till Monday, so I'll go ahead and pick it up. And this is what we got. I mean, I ain't gonna complain. It's only like 2,000 pounds. It's 1 pallet of accessories, and I think it's 4 pieces of pipe, but they're curved, 40 feet long, 2,000 pounds. Axles up. You know, I always talk about, you know, I haul light just because hauling heavy doesn't always pay. And I've actually been trying to move some heavier loads just because, you know, I said earlier in one of my other videos about how this thing seems to run a little better when she's got a little more weight behind her. You know, so I look for some heavier loads, and this is that's what I get. But it all pays the same, so I ain't gonna complain, not one single bit. You hear me? I ain't gonna complain at all. I'll take the full truckload money for that. That's fine by me. You know, so got back, sat in a little traffic going to get this thing. There was a tractor trailer accident on the interstate. Seems like a reoccurring thing in that same spot all the time. So setting about 45 minutes worth of traffic there, but then got up there, got loaded. It was a quick load, quick strap drive. Back down the road I came, and I'm back. You know, was making a couple calls because I got a couple things that I need to do to the truck. You know, it's getting cold, so one of the things, you know, when you're in a semi or anything with air, even you guys who are out here running air ride trailers, you know, you want to make sure you winterize those trucks and trailers and everything, your air systems, because you don't want no moisture or nothing like that getting in there to where it can freeze and mess things up. So, you know, I was doing that, and I was changing the filter on my air dryer. And when I went to change the filter on the air dryer, it's a screw-in filter, but not like an oil filter. It's just got a stud, you know, a threaded stud, and it screws down on your dryer. I have an older style Bendex dryer, and the hole that the stud gets screwed into was actually stripped. Like the old filter just pulled right out, so it's not really doing that great of a job, so I needed another one. Well, I haven't been able to track one down because it's the older style, and they're on back order. So, you know, I was calling around seeing if anybody's got any. Nobody's got none. They're on back order. The shop that I normally work with, he said he ordered some 2 weeks ago, still hasn't gotten any. So, you know, I'll just keep an eye. It's not the biggest deal. You know, I'll just keep an eye on it. I drain my tanks every night anyway. I actually do it like 2 or 3 times. I'll drain the tanks, I'll let the pressure build back up, drain it again, let the pressure build back up, drain it again, just so I make sure I'm getting everything out of there. It's not terrible when it comes to moisture in there, so the dryer is doing a little bit of a job, but you know, I don't want that thing to be getting any worse over time. And then also, since I'm doing the dryer, I'm gonna go ahead and do the compressor, the air compressor as well, because who knows how long that thing's been on there. I'm starting to get a little bit of oil residue, you know, when I drain my tank, so that means it's time for the compressor to go get replaced. So get those 2 things replaced. Hopefully we can get them soon. You know, they're still working, but of course I want to get them replaced before they stop working, and that ends, you know, me stranded. If I don't have air, I'm not going nowhere. So, you know, I want to make sure that I don't have those issues. And then, you know, it's November. First week of November is down. This is the time, you know, if you guys aren't in the industry, or you're not familiar with the industry, you're just getting into it, or this is your first year, you know, this is the time that a lot of flatbed loads slow down, at least in my area, because construction slows down because it starts to get cold, things like that. So this is a time when a lot of loads slow down. You get close to the holidays, certain freight isn't moving because of the holidays, people are closed because of the holidays, you know, so hopefully you've been running your butt off in the summer months, the warmer months, to make a nice little nest egg to where you can kind of coast in the wintertime. You know, that's a good practice. I'm not saying everybody's got to do it. That's what I do. I run my butt off in the warm months when flatbed is booming, so that I have a nice little nest egg that I can kind of coast through the couple of winter months where flatbed is slow, just to keep the bills paid and everything like that, any maintenance issues and stuff like that. You want to stay on top of that stuff as much as you can, because in the wintertime things do slow down. And when they slow down, you don't want to get caught with your pants down, you know. So make sure that you are saving up, you're spending your money wisely, you're doing your maintenance and everything, so that you can get through the winter months without having to go through something terrible financially because you didn't plan well. You know, planning is a big part of business, especially in the flatbed world, because it is technically seasonal. You know, a lot of places flatbed is seasonal, so you really have to prepare for that downtime. I can't stress that enough. You know, preparation for that downtime in the winter is a big thing, and mark my word, you will see it. I see it every year. You will see it. I don't wish it on nobody, but it happens all the time. You will see at the first of the year, people are getting out of the business because they could not sustain their business during the down season. So I don't want y'all to be like that. If you're in the business, new to the business, or getting into the business, make sure that you have everything squared away, so that you don't become one of those people who has to sell their equipment and close the doors on their business because they didn't plan well for the slow season. Now, I know the last 2 years has been kind of hard because loads have been all over the place, COVID and all that stuff. So it's really been hard to plan because we've been having these crazy waves, man. It's not like summertime and springtime is just booming like it used to be. You know, it was just go. You know, here the last 2 years, it might be go for 3 months, and then 2 weeks it's dead, and then it comes back, you know. So it's been real hard to plan, but you just have to do your best. Do your best to make sure that you got everything that you need to go into this down season. All right. You know, I don't, like I said, I don't want to see nobody lose their equipment, lose their business, close the doors on their business because of poor planning. So I cannot stress that enough. Plan, and then replan, have a backup plan for all those plans, because it's just the nature of the beast. It does slow down. You know, now hopefully, who knows, maybe we'll have another crazy season where it doesn't slow down as much during the wintertime because people are still trying to catch up. That'd be nice, but don't bank on it, you know. So make sure you got your ducks in a row. But I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna go enjoy my weekend. Hope you guys do the same. Have fun, be safe, spend time with your friends, family, all that good stuff. Get your mind right for Monday. And as always, stay prayed up, grind hard, and stay humble.